It's our last stop in the Philippines, and I think we may have found the best island in Cebu. Palm trees, white beaches, laid-back lifestyle. Bantayan Island might just be the next hotspot. The bus to Bantayan Island is relatively easy. Just head to the North Cebu terminal and you'll find all the air-conditioned buses leaving every 30 minutes for 230 pesos. Hop off at Hagnaya port and get your ferry ticket while the bus is loading. You'll have some small anxiety as the bus goes on the boat, but you're still in line for that ticket. You can't stay on the bus while it's at sea, so head into the ship, go up to the top floor and find a seat for the 1 hour journey. We found the upper area had the best views, more space and fresher air. The sea journey itself lasts just over an hour, and although noisy and a constant vibration, it's very scenic. What I might do now is go hire a bike for a couple of days and just do a bit of a lap around the island, see what's here, see if there's a better beach. I've heard there's one called Sandira. I'll go have a look at that, see what it compares. But for me, what I'm finding here is from the islands I've seen so far on our little trip through Cebu, I think this one's the most pristine, probably the most tropical, and it's one that I think that if I was going to choose a holiday, I'd probably put Bantayan Island on my list. Let's go get that bike, see what else is here. Well, as I start this ride around the coastline, there's not much traffic. And one of the strange things I've come to straight away is what they called the ruins, which I believe was an old house that was built here, demolished. This is what's left of it. It's a tourist attraction, I'm not sure why, but it's the first stop on my loop around. So I'll go have a look at it. It's a little bit odd, but there's a good stop here. And you can actually see some nice coastline here, which gives me an impression of what I'm going to see as I go around the island. Might get back on the bike, head up to the next lot of beaches. I think it's Sandira Beach. We'll go to Sandira Beach and we'll see what's there. I thought I'd just stop on the road at the moment to show you it's one of the most common forms of transport on the island, also pretty much around Cebu. It's the tri-car. So it's a motorbike attached to a sidecar. This is a smaller version. Sometimes you get 2-seaters, 4-seaters. I've actually seen 11 people in one. I think they're quite special. Unfortunately, as I've been traveling around, I haven't seen that many that have been done up. I think Manila's more the place for that. But they're a pretty nice piece of transport. Sometimes you've just got to follow a track and see where it comes out. I'm not really sure where this road's going, but as usual, just follow the crowd. Thank you very much, thank you. So I've arrived at Sandira Beach, I think that's how it's pronounced. There's a 70 peso entry fee, which, what's that, about $1.80 Australian. Not too bad to go to the beach. And it does come out to a nice beach. This, I believe, is classed, if you look online, as the second best beach in Bantayan Island. That's pretty nice. That's nice white sand, blue water, not seeing any trash anywhere. Might just walk down and have a closer look at that water. So when I come to the Philippines, I think coming straight from Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lanka's got some fantastic beaches. If you've never been there, have a look at my Sri Lanka videos. There's some really good spots there. But I was told the Philippines had some great beaches. And I think I'm just starting to find them up in this north area of Cebu. This is pretty pristine, this is pretty good. We'll go to Santa Fe later today. I think we'll do the loop and we'll probably end up at Santa Fe tonight, maybe have a look at the beach tomorrow. But it's going to be pretty hard to beat this one, I think. I've got bad internet, but I think I'm pretty close to Marikaban Beach. I've just seen a little clearing near a house, so I thought I'd go through. I don't know if this is a little fishing village. It looks like it comes out to the mangroves. I know as you drive further down, you will come into the mangrove area. There is like quite a large area that's a bit touristy. It also looks just out there, there's two, oh no, they go way out to the distance. There's probably about 6 or 7 fish farms out there on the horizon. So it looks like this area definitely is a fishing area, a fishing village area. It's actually quite a long stretch of beach I can't really film up into that way, I'm going straight into the sun. But there's probably a couple of kilometres up there of just straight beach in the mangroves. You've got mangroves, then a bit of a gap beach-wise. It is a muddy consistency. Don't know if I'd be swimming in there, but it is quite nice here. Bantayan. I'm starting to think this might be the place to go in the Philippines. This is really nice. To me, it's different Philippines, and there's probably like 7,000 other islands out there. People go, they're very similar. But as far as technically being on a tourist trail, this is pretty good. You can even leave your keys in the ignition. Might just get on the bike and follow the road up the north coast. This is a road trip that should take an hour, 2 hours to go around the island. And I find that every 2 minutes I'm stopping and going, wow, what's that? So here is where, I don't think I'm at the start of it, I'm probably somewhere in the middle of the mangrove area. It's quite extensive. Once again, I can see for kilometres down, you know, the mangrove cuts off bits and pieces, but it's beach all the way down. And you keep just running into people's houses, their boats, life. Dogs. For me at the moment, Bantayan seems to have, you know, it's got that beach culture, it's got some nice restaurants down in Santa Fe. Yeah, they're just casual cafes, but you know, it's good for a tourist trail. And then it's just got this Filipino culture. Yeah, Bantayan Island, the people on there, the fishermen, the traders. They're the little things that make travel. So I've just stopped in the town of Bantayan. It's a nice little town. I see it's got a market over beyond. There's an old church. As I drove in, there was St. Paul's Cemetery. A couple of little nice sights here, but I think I'm going to grab a water, just keep riding, heading north, see where we get to today. To be honest, I was just going to ride through Bantayan, have a quick look and then just keep going, not even get off the bike. But there's markets, there's fishermen, there's stalls, so I thought I'd have a look around the town. It's a perfect day for it. The main harbour area seems to be very active and a place to dry the day's catch. Thank you. Such a usual market, a lot of fish, a lot of seaweed and that type of thing here as well. Quite interesting. So if I had to describe the ride up the west coast, this is pretty much it. It's little coastal villages, fishing boats, fishing nets, little markets. It's a pretty nice ride. I think I'm about halfway up. I now have to duck back in, head back up north to the northern town. I think it's called Madridejos. I'm not sure, I'll check that when I get up there. Bit of building noise across the road. I can see this place. You never know, give this 20 years, might be the next big thing. I just stopped at a roadside, middle of nowhere. Thought I'd get a drink. It's funny, across the road, basketball, small church. Hello. So I've made it to the top of Bantayan and this is what we've got. So when you get to the north, the drive is fantastic. Palm trees, nice roads, little villages along that ocean. But the north, there's a lot of housing, like traditional housing on that beachfront. But it looks like there's a big wash-in of just junk. I can see it all the way around the beach. Something I haven't seen in Bantayan, but it does seem like the northern end, this is where the rubbish comes in, probably from the north of the Philippines. Okay, let's get back on the bike and check out the east coast. The road down the east coast doesn't have as much on it. It's a lovely road. It doesn't hug the coast as much. So you see a lot of farmland, you see a lot of trees and bushes, but the reality is until you get to Santa Fe, you don't really start to see a bit of the coast. You can go off, but then you've just got to find little tracks where to make your own way to the water. But I'm going to head back down to Santa Fe, have a look at the lagoons, and then we'll head into Santa Fe and see what it's like in there. So there is some backwaters here and you could go for a ride and have a look at that, but there's a bit of a low pressure system coming in, the weather's changing. I think Malapascua may be off next week. I might go to Cebu instead because I don't want to get stuck there with no ferries. But I'm going to head into Santa Fe and check that out while the weather's still holding. So we're staying in Santa Fe, which is the little village or town right where the ships come into the port. As you can see, it's got that same cement road and that does a whole ring around the island and the traffic is pretty much non-existent. Tricycles, the odd truck that comes over doing deliveries, but there's not a great deal of traffic on this island. So I thought I'd just walk into the main area of Santa Fe to show you the dining area where there's a couple of restaurants, a couple of bars, and then head to Kota Beach, which is the main beach in the area. The Santa Fe itself is on the left-hand side of the port as you come in, and you find it's on a little L bend. So you've got beach on the port side, and then also there is an area called MJ Square that is full of little cafes, restaurants. It's going to be a bit quiet during the day, but this place is absolutely packed of a night, and probably the main place people come to have food. Lots of options down here. Oh, hello.
Hello, blogger.
Santa Fe has a main market, fruit and vegetable and bakeries. And it seems to be the expat and tourist area of the island.
It's actually a very good local market. Lots of fish, lots of fresh vegetables, everything you need if you're staying here just that little bit longer. Santa Fe has two churches facing directly opposite each other. Well worth a look, just right next to the market area. Just next to the churches and in between the sports complex, there's a lot of food places where you can just walk down and take your choice of food. I'm not going to film there too closely. There's school kids everywhere at the moment, and I don't want to be walking around filming school kids. But there's definitely a lot of choices here. It's a bit wet down here. I think we're actually about to get the second large depression, tropical cyclone, off season again. I can pick it. But this track where those food stalls were between the two churches, that brings you down to the beach, which is Kota Beach, which is arguably the best beach in the area. So here you've got Kota Beach. Sorry for the throat, I think I'm coming down with a bit of a lurgy. You've got Kota Beach, really not a great deal of rubbish here, it's quite good. White sand, I can see behind me what is probably the only development that I can see around the place. Everything else seems to be 2 or 3 stories at max, but this one here, the newest building, looks like development is here. So this part here, this is called Kota Lagoon, and it comes in tidally, so it fills up when the high tide comes in, and it can go all the way down in front of the bars. It's a nice swimming area, and you get a lot of locals here on a Sunday. And as you can see, it's got that nice turquoise colour, depending if the sun's hitting it, but it is a bit funny at the moment with this storm coming. If I was in Santa Fe and say I needed to go to a bar to get some work done, this would be my choice. It's right on the beach, friendly staff, there was good food. It's a pretty good place. I'll take you through there.